Yo, Sarafella. So, if you think that investing sounds complicated, it's only because it's new and you don't have enough information or experience to really understand or to really be able to judge how simple it can be. It's just like driving a car for the first time. I'm sure the first time it felt frightening, and after you got used to it and you got enough practice, and you realized that it wasn't that bad. So, we've established that investing it's really important if you want to take control over your future, but you need a good foundation. So here are 10 things. 10 things. 10 things. All right, I always have a problem with the THs. So here are 10 things that I feel like you should know or do before you start investing. So number one, if you don't know how much you're spending every month, you really can't budget for anything. So you don't know if what you're spending is more than what's coming in than what you're earning. You don't know if or how much you could save every month. You don't know if or how much you could invest. So by really tracking your spending and taking a hard look at where your money is going every month, then you'll be able to cut the stuff that are not necessary, the stuff that you're spending money on that you don't really need. And by doing that, you'll be able to save more. So number two. So you can't want to spend or invest all your money and not know how you're going to take care of yourself if you were to lose your job or get sick and not be able to work. So if your income stops today, you need to have something in place to be able to stay afloat. After you determine how much money that you spend every month, then it's recommended to have 3 to 6 months of that in a savings account, preferably a high yield savings account. Now, if you spend $3,000 every month, then you know that you need to save $9,000 to $12,000, and so that's what you need to have in your account. So if you think that's a little bit high, it's really what you need to do. It's really what you have to do. You can't really think about anything else until you have that emergency fund, because emergencies do happen. People lose their job, investment do go wrong. So things happen in a person's life. So you need to have something in place for those cases. If you don't know where you're going and what steps to take, then you'll just be running around not going anywhere. So you need to look at your financial situation either by yourself or with a professional like a financial advisor, and talk about your plans and your goals and see what steps to take to reach these goals. After you do that, then you have a roadmap in place and you'll be more intentional in the type of decisions that you make and the actions that you take. So if you have an investment that's paying you 12% in interest and you have a debt that you're paying 10% in interest, overall you're only making 2% on your money really, and that's enough to just keep up with inflation, right? So at that sort of rate, you can't build any sort of wealth or be able to reach any of your goals. Credit cards are the worst type of debt out there because their interests are so high. So they just keep sucking money out of your pocket and really stop you from moving forward, really stop you from growing. So if you have high interest debt, especially credit card debt, you need to work on paying those first. So if you're investing in a business and you don't understand how the business works, you don't understand how they make money, you don't understand their culture, you don't understand their management style, then you're basically throwing your money at the wall and hope it sticks. So it's easy to see articles about a particular stock or hear people talking about a particular stock and want to invest in it too. But you definitely need to do your own research to really understand what you're putting your money into, and that way you can protect your investments. The problem with a lot of people is that they want to make a lot of money fast and they take unnecessary risks. When you hear these stories about these people that get rich quick or that make a lot of money in a short period of time on the internet or whatever, you can't really model your strategy based on that, because that's not really realistic for 99% of people out there. So to be successful, you need to understand that that's going to take a long time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to be a slow and long grind that may take decades. Slow and steady wins the race. Understand that whatever investment that you make, there's always risk involved. So the less you know, the more chances you have of making bad decisions. So it's really important to understand the investment categories that you're getting into, whether it's stock or real estate, and understand the businesses that you're putting your money into. Warren Buffett says risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. So it's important to educate yourself, and that will significantly minimize the amount of risk that you're taking. Number 8. Investing just one time is definitely way better than not investing at all, but the compounding effect of that, just that one-time investment, can only go so far. So if you keep investing month after month, you keep adding to that principal month after month and year after year, then that'll really help you achieve your goals like so much faster. So to give you an example, say one person were to invest $1,000 at 10% return for 20 years, but they only invest $1,000 in year one, and then they just leave that money there to grow for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, they'll have over $6,700 available. Somebody else that invested $1,000 at that 10% return in year one and keeps adding $1,000 every year, over 20 years, they'll end up having over $69,700. So that's 10 times as much. So just keep adding to that principal every year, and being consistent with doing that can really go a long way. So us humans, a lot of times we make decisions based on how we feel and our emotions. So when we're watching a commercial, they try to trigger those emotions just so we could buy their products. We end up buying them not really because we need them, but because of how they make us feel. So you'll pay for a service, and there might be a different service out there that's probably cheaper or better, but you keep paying for it because of that emotional connection that you have to it. So when you're investing in something, you need to treat it like a business and understand that the main reason that you're doing it is to get a return on your money. You want your money to make more money. So all the decisions that you make needs to be based on that first and foremost. I wanted to add that last one as a bonus. So if you have a W-2 job or a 9-to-5 job and you have a 401k account, a lot of companies will do what's called a 401k match, where they'll match your contributions to your 401k account up until a certain amount. So they always have a maximum or a cap to that match. So let's say for your company, that cap is 4%. So if you were to contribute 6% of your income to your 401k, then your company will match 4% of that for a total of 10%. So that 4% from your company is basically free money that they're giving you. If you were to contribute just 2% of your income to that 401k, your company would match that 2%, but there's an extra 2% just sitting there that you're not getting. Never, never, never leave free money on the table. So that match is basically free money. You should always take it. So for whatever reason, if you're not gonna put a lot of money in your 401k, or you're not gonna contribute anything at all, you should at least contribute whatever that match is for your company. If it's 3%, contribute 3% so it could give you that match. If it's 10%, 20%, contribute that 20% so they could give you that match. It's free money. Do not leave it on the table. So this is all I got for today. I hope that was helpful. If you guys feel like I missed anything, or you feel like there's anything people should do or people should know about before they start investing, please leave them down below in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Peace.